Page 36. It's a theme from the first movement of a Piano Concerto No. 1 by Tchaikovsky, a very famous concerto and a very difficult one to play. This is a nice little arrangement of it. At least you get an idea of the musical theme at the very beginning. Now I could say a lot here, but I'm not going to. Let's just do it the way they're showing you to do it. Pedal it the way they're showing you to pedal it. I'll just point a few minor little things out. Now at the beginning, see all these accents? Those are important. You don't have to separate. So some people will say if it's an accent separated, well, pianists don't, okay? It's an interpretive thing, so no, don't separate these, just accent it. On each of these accents, the pedal will help you out. I'll get to the pedal later, all right? Let's just stick to the right and left hand for right now. Fourth line down on page 36, the last measure, look out, because you're here. Watch the fingering. You're starting these eighth note triplets, third finger, fourth finger. May have to work on that a little bit because they have to be even, right? And there's a little bit of an accent, not much, on the G. We just want to hear the beat. Now at the top of page 37 it gets a little tricky, so just follow their fingering, you're fine. These are two-note slurs. Now the pedal's going to cover it up, but still do it as a two-note slur, up and down, or down, up, down, up. Okay, just even though the pedal covers it up, the technique is that. And then in the last measure it's 2, 3, 1. Okay, in the second line, first measure, see the 1-3 on the A, you're playing it with the first finger, substitute the third finger on it, so you're ready to go on. Connect the melody, the top note. I know the pedal's down, but you still got to do it with the fingers. Okay, you have those weird triplets again, not weird, but they're awkward. They're at the bottom in the last measure on page 37, so okay. Now at the bottom of page 37 there's a note, an optional, and it applies to the first measure of the third line. You see the asterisk on the F? So with just playing it exactly as it's written in that measure, it's here. But you can, if you want, instead of that, play this at the bottom. It's kind of fun. It's kind of showy, and that's the idea. Because in the actual concerto, yes, this kind of passage appears. 1, 2, 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a type thing. On page 38 you got more of the same kind of stuff. Finger it the way they're doing it. Second line you got these two-note slurs again. Just do it that way. I don't think I really need to point everything out. You can see it's there. I will point out in the fourth line down, first measure, I don't like that fingering because look at these notes. You have an F and then a C. Hold all the notes down here. Just C, A flat, and a D in the next measure. That is a chord. I prefer to use fourth finger on the A flat. Right? Because this is the way the chord is fingered. So I just do it when I see it in a piece. I finger it the same way. You're using a fourth finger on the A flat in the next measure. And at the bottom, the first measure of the last line in the left hand, you're here. Now it's a 1, 2, 4. Same chord. At the end with the fermata, I'm going to hold that an extra count. So rather than 1.5 counts, I'm going to hold it 2.5 counts, and then the pedal and the hands all come up at the same time. Isn't that nice? Now, pedal it the way they're showing you. But I just want to point out a few little details. Right at the beginning there in that second measure, it's the first full measure, right, where you're pedaling it for the first time. The pedal comes down right after you play the first notes. And then the next chords, lift the pedal up before you play the E's. Those are not connected to what's before them. We want a little silence there before. So it's like this is a phrase, and then we're going to repeat it. And again. But they just added that chord in there in between. Like so. So a little silence between each of those. Otherwise, just like they're showing you, just pedal what they're showing you. It's no big deal. No big whoop. We don't pedal like in the fourth line down last measure. We don't pedal over the triplets because we don't want to smear them up. So you're here. Those are by themselves, and you'll see this in other places. However, if you look at the first line on page 37, last measure, those eighth notes, we're smearing those, right? Not sure why, but they're smearing them, so okay, whatever. On page 36, in the fourth line down, the last measure, in the left hand, you see a little bitty note there in parentheses. That is a G down here. That's optional. So if you want, you can play that instead of the G by itself. So the last two measures are there, right there in the fourth line. It would be this way. It just helps to reinforce the sound is all. So if you're up to it, do the octave. Otherwise, leave it out. Just play the G. I'm not trying to perform it here for you. You can do the performing on your own. Now, a couple minor little things. When we play it together, I'm probably going to finger it however I finger it because I have my habits. A lot of this is for show. If you look at the left hand, starting in the second line on page 36, and the last two measures with the chords, this is for show. It's because in the actual thing you're playing a 4-note chord and it's like extending. It's very showy, and so the fingering they've got is 1, 3, 5 on all these. Well, when I tend to play this music, I move my hands around as little as possible, and when I see chords like this in versions, I tend to finger them in one hand position. So it's like on the second line on the third measure, the first chord, rather than 1, 3, 5, I would do a 1, 4, 2, or 5, 4, 2, and then 4, 2, 1, because I can get the whole thing in one hand position. So when we play it together, I'm probably going to do a little bit of both ways so you can see what's going on. So don't be surprised if you see me playing these this way rather than their fingering, because, as I said, we're using their fingering for show. Alright, that's not really the way we would want to finger these otherwise. So what we're going to do is we're going to play pages 36 and 37, and we're going to stop. I'm going to turn the page, I'm going to count us in, and then we're going to play page 38 together slowly. Here we're checking notes and rhythms here as best we can, okay? I mean, it's so loud and the pedals there, it's hard to really hear the notes and going on, but we'll try it. It does have a 1.5 beat pickup. Makes it fun. It's like a 1 and 2 and 3, because this is 3, 4 times, 3 beats, so it's 1 and 2 and you come in on the end of 2. So I think I'll give us a full 3 counts plus the 1.5 or whatever. Let's try it. So put your hands where they go and the foot's on the pedal. We're ready. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. stop, turn the page. 1, ready, go.